Okay. Hi, everyone. As you've heard, my name is Hannah from Kenya. And yes, I'm one of the lucky students who got this study opportunity in Finland. To be specific, my program is a master's in biosciences at Åbo Academy University. And I'm specializing in biochemistry. That is basically, it's connected to what I did in my undergraduate program. What I can say is I came across this opportunity in YouTube, specifically in Hamed's channel, and I went through it, and there were a couple of programs being offered, the free of charge masters, so no tuition fee. The only thing you have to cover is, living expenses and all that, but well, we'll come back to that. And regarding the residence permit, actually, I didn't, at first it was very challenging. I think that was my challenging part, but study mentor came through. Well, in terms of guidance and the process, remember I asked you so many questions.
Yeah.
But it's better to ask. Honestly, don't be afraid to ask, please. If you get stuck, just ask someone so that at least you have a better chance also of being accepted, because this is a whole thing of immigration and you don't want to mess up your documents. And also, one thing I can say, if you get your documents straight, the faster the process goes, and even the higher the chances of you getting a residence permit.
I'm here with Miss Anna. Miss Anna is originally from Kenya, eastern part of Africa, and I'm glad to have her on board, and I'm happy to that she is also ready to share her experience with others, especially people from Kenya, just for them to also key into this opportunity. And as you know, my YouTube channel is there to share information with you and to make you achieve your dreams in the easiest way and considering your motivation as well. So, Study Mentor Academy, which you all know, is a group of mentors where we assist students to achieve their dreams by guiding them through application process, um, test taking strategies like coaching, also assisting them, giving them guidance on how to apply for their residence permits in Europe. So I'm glad to have Miss Anna, one of our mentees, on board.
So the first thing about application, first identify your program of interest and then see the documents required, because I believe well, most are usually kind of varying depending on where you're applying to. So get your documents in order. And well, the easiest part about this was it was pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
I just went through the instructions and the attachments needed in PDF format. And yeah, I did all that and basically waiting for the feedback.
Is it
Another thing,
free
keep in
program
mind,
or you
yeah,
paid tuition? Did you pay tuition or it's a free program?
no, it's a free program. I am not paying any tuition. And yeah, that's a relief for any international student,
Yeah.
because we know how studying abroad can be really, really expensive. And another thing is keep in mind the application period. Actually, for the Finnish programs, they're quite strict. 2 weeks is a short time, honestly.
Mm.
But just give it a shot, be confident, and hope for the best. And also try applying to as many places as possible. So my program basically, it's a major field of science.
Mhm.
I'll mainly be working in the lab, hopefully. But our trajectory, mainly we focus on research work in any field in medicine. It's not really limited. That's the advantage. That will venture into the molecular field, others biotechnology, can even like work in the hospital. So it's not very limited, honestly. Well, personally, I like nutrition and public health. What else? Yeah, there is quite okay, of course, the content is quite varying, but I would say for a motivation factor, whatever you choose, pick something you're passionate about so
Mhm.
that you don't feel stranded. And also, yeah, I know maybe for many people, if you do something undergraduate to please your parents, and
Exactly.
then now you pick something that you want, but pick something you will benefit from. something that will give you value. I know we, as young people, of course, right now we're looking for something that will give us both the value and, of course, the security and stability in terms of job opportunities and a career that, you can kind of switch up or develop your skills. And maybe with even everything with it, I don't know, technology booming, who knows where we'll end up? Like, I know there'll be a lot of things to do. Again, with career wise, there's no limit. There's always a chance to like change or to advance.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you.
There is one thing I
Mm-hmm.
noticed from what you
Mm-hmm.
said, and also
Mm-hmm.
from other people who I have invited to this channel. They mentioned
Okay.
something about choosing a program that you are
Mm-hmm.
passionate about, and at the
Mm-hmm.
same time choosing a
Mm-hmm.
program that you are qualified for. So those two things
Mm-hmm.
are very, very
Yes.
important.
The point that can give you an advantage is if you are working in that field and you can kind of express that, like, of course, they'll ask you why. So I feel like maybe if you have some kind of work experience or volunteer experience, that can put you, can give you an advantage and you can actually be admitted. So do not feel limited as long as you can back it up and prove that, okay, I can do this. Also, depending on the what Hamid addressed about the social life, first and foremost, the language barrier. So, of course, again,
Mhm.
depend with how open you are, it can be a challenge, no lie. And also, I realize people can be hermits during winter, and
Mhm.
we're heading there where people are just gonna hide. I don't know. But I think this was one of those interesting things when the people who I asked were like telling me, oh, yeah, in winter people disappear. Then in summer, of course, everyone loves the sun. Everyone is out there being social. So again, I feel okay. Besides also the, how do you say, the passion for the program, of
Mhm.
course, also talk to your parents. Yes, it can take a while to make friends, of course, because again, the places where people are more open. Okay, here not so much. So it takes one step at a time anyway. Don't be hard on yourself.
Mhm.
So just keeping a positive note, honestly, because yeah, I know with the mental health and this generation,
Mhm.
you can really put yourself in a rabbit hole and yeah. Okay, so for the university, basically, the main one is your undergraduate degree certificate. You also need okay, in Kenya, we call it KCSE, the Form 4 one. Well, before that's the high school one, it's called the KCSE certificate. You need that as well.
Mhm.
Also, what else they attach? Oh, yeah, transcripts, of course.
Mhm.
And there are those who ask for CVs, but okay, I wasn't asked for my CV really. But I know there are programs where they ask you for the CV and the letters of recommendation.
The next question is about your residence permit process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What are the documents required, and
Okay.
the things, advice you would give to people in case they would be planning to travel next year from Kenya? And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you should go about the residence permits. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you. So of course, the first step before even all that, wait for your admission. If you get admitted, then now you can plan from there. And regarding the residence permit, actually, I didn't at first. It was very challenging. I think that was my challenging part, but Sedimenta came through well in terms of guidance and the process. Remember, I asked you so many questions.
Yeah.
But it's better to ask. Honestly, don't be afraid to ask, please. If you get stuck, just ask someone so that at least you have a better chance also of being accepted because this is a whole thing of immigration and you don't want to mess up your documents. And also, one thing I can say, if you get your documents straight, the faster the process goes, and even the higher the chances of you getting a residence permit. So in this case, because it's a residence permit under studies, that's a continuous A residence permit. Regarding the document, the first, the first important document is, of course, the offer of admission, or rather the school admission letter. And then another thing is, let me see, I'd written some things here so that I don't forget. Um, you can get from your department the support to show that you're not paying the tuition fees. For my case, they sent me a letter to use at least when I go for the interview. Another thing is the health insurance. There are specific like companies. Basically, do not use companies that are not recommended. When you log into your Enter Finland, they have a list there. And then, of course, your passport. And then now, what actually I realized, or rather the biggest, the biggest trick about this whole residence permit, they don't joke about finances.
Mm.
The finance part, I think, was the biggest, like, it's the biggest issue for many people. It's not even like the supporting documents or this and that. So get your finances in order. First and foremost, I believe, I don't know if they already increased the 560 per
Yeah,
month because I had increasing it to 800.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was
So
increased.
now multiply that. It increased, right? It was past
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
increased.
So if you're gonna multiply that, that's like 12 times 8. Wait, that's 9,600, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
9,600.
So right now you need the 9,600 euros in your own account from your own country. Well, depending when you put the money in your account, doesn't even matter when, as long as you have it by the time you're going for your interview. And another thing is, um, you also, of course, this money you also need it to show that you will not be stranded in a foreign country. And another thing, okay, in this aspect for the, okay, depending if you're self-sponsoring, okay, I don't know much about the self-sponsorship, honestly, but if I remember well, if you're sponsoring yourself, the biggest tip is that you have to prove that even after arriving in Finland, that there's a steady flow of income, that the cash, the business is gonna continue.
Mhm.
Um, I think that will be the tricky part about it, though it's easier definitely than having a sponsor.
Yeah.
Um, for my case, I had a sponsorship, and for the sponsorship, well, it doesn't matter if it's a relative or a family friend, but what you have to prove is one, now this is the source. One was your own funds in your own account. Number two is now the source of funds, proving it. So you need to prove where you got this 9,600 euros. So what you need is your sponsor's bank statement dating the last 6 months. And also you need to, as a backing, well, as a backup, it will help to have the business registration certificate. I used that. I also showed the tax information, and also I showed the, oh yes, very important, sponsorship letter. Definitely, you need a sponsorship letter
Mhm.
to show that I so and so we are supporting this student to go and pursue. Yeah, that is gonna back up your, will make your case better, basically. Let me see. Is there anything else?
Yeah, in terms of the business certificates for
Oh,
Kenyans,
business. Uh-huh.
business
Uh-huh.
certificates, or what
Uh,
kind of business can somebody
mm.
get sponsorship from?
Oh, what kind of business?
Yeah, or business
Um,
certificate.
okay. So what I can say for the business, um, as long as it's like you can prove this business has been getting like a good annual return, and
Mhm.
it's been there for like a number of years, and it's still stable, still ongoing. It's better to use something that's been there at least for a number of years than just recent, because then at least it shows, okay, this business is stable, they're secure. Even when you're here, they'll know that someone still has your back. Okay, honestly, for my studies, let me say I'm still at, is it 1%? Because I haven't even done like, it's still like new, all new. So
Mhm.
I've only done like one unit. Is it what I expected? Well, of course, some things date back, like the molecular aspect. I remember we studied that in undergraduate, and it was such a long time. Goodness. So
Mhm.
again, going back to class, it's a whole thing. When you're out there, sometimes after graduation, going back to school. Maybe I think I would advise people if you're graduating, don't take too long to go back to school. I understand why people
I
do work
think
and get
what
money.
Eugenia also mentioned the same thing, like
Yeah,
they have
it's
to like
true.
go back to
Tricky,
undergraduate
tricky.
level.
It's true because I swear you take too long, and then now you tell me like you're earning some good money, and then you're like, why should I go back to school? And basically, I think I'll keep it simple. The piece of advice I just give to anyone willing to, move to a new country or try something new to like pursue studies. We don't all have to fit in one box
Mhm.
or do the same thing as our country folks. We can always expand our knowledge and be open-minded.
Mhm.
And, you can land in just a place you never thought possible. What I can say is don't limit yourself, and also again keeping an open mind, taking a leap of faith wherever it is you dream of going to, whichever continent, just give it a shot.
Mhm.
um what else can I say? Yeah, and just don't give up. Keep trying until the one that will just
It's,
finally come. Of course, I know rejection can be painful, very.
yeah.
Rejection can be hard. No one likes.
Have you ever
Yeah,
been rejected for programs before?
yeah, I've ever had that rejection, honestly. And I remember it was the toughest. It was one of those tough moments.
Mhm.
I did get the admission, but the visa part was a whole other thing. Oh my. And it kind of traumatized me not to try to that destination again.
Mhm.
But also, I can say it was worth the wait
Mhm.
because at least here I am now. Here I am, thank God. Yeah, sometimes also rejection is redirection. Let me add something. So, thank you so much, Hamed. So,
Mhm.
guys, as you've heard, well, first thing, go over to YouTube, please subscribe to
Yeah,
Hamed's
subscribe to
channel.
the channel. Yeah.
Yes, subscribe to the channel and study mentor. Yes, it's still his. Please go and support him. And it's also, as you've said, it's very important, honestly, to help one another and to share information. So I also thought to myself, well, of course, at first I was like, okay, but I realized it's not also nice to be selfish. So it's good to share. You
Mhm.
can help someone out there. Share information, please. Hey, I know sometimes, we like gatekeeping. Oh, if I share this with someone who will benefit, no, no one will overtake you. No, you light a candle, lights itself. You light other candles,
Mhm.
and that is how we grow in this life.
I
So
see.
go over and subscribe to Hamed's channel. He has very, very informative videos, and he covers very many continents and very many opportunities. And yeah, I'm also grateful that he was very, very, how do I say, resourceful, even in answering questions and just helping through the process. So thank you too as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Anna.